Good morning, everybody. Hang on just a second. Oh, it's Patty Ann here. Hey, today in the installment for the bundle, we're going to go over one of the gardening examples. And if you look here on Cricut Design Space, you'll see what we're going to do. We're going to change the little saying into being gardening is my therapy. Originally, when you bring it in, if I go to upload and upload an image, and here it is here because I've already done that, and it says insert images. The original way that it comes in is like this. Still coming. Okay, gardening my way of therapy. And I don't quite want it to be like that. I want it to say gardening is my therapy. So there's two things that we're going to go over today. The first of which is how to change up the text to make it be what we want it to be. And the second is to how to put on a color font and then black font or black vinyl onto the same shirt. Okay, so let's, what should we do? I think I'll hide the jacket first. I was going to put it on the back of a jacket because I think that looks cool back there. I bet you know a lot of gardening friends that would absolutely love this. So let me hide the shirt for now. And so we have these two different kinds. I'll put the one over here that's my sample, and over here I'll put the one that I'm going to work on. So the first thing I need to do when I come to this SVG file is to come to Ungroup. And then I'm going to change the word gardening into green. And I'm just going to leave it otherwise how it is. So I'm just going to grab it like that, just coming over and grabbing a box and making sure every letter is partially grabbed. And it gets the whole thing. And then I'm going to come up here to the top where it says fill, and I'm going to change the color to green. Okay, so that's pretty easy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same word and select it, and I'm going to weld it. Even though they're not touching, I'm going to weld it. Now, I wanted to say is my therapy. So the next thing I'm going to do is just delete the word my out of here. And then I'm going to come to the text tool. And like I said, you can always find your own text that you want to use. And those of you who don't find the bundle, I'm sure you can come up with a way to make this yourself. But we're going to make it say is. And the font that it comes up as, because I've used it most recently, is Rebetha Sands, and that's actually what I do want. So I'm going to click off of it and bring it up here, and it looks a little bit small, so I'm going to enlarge it a little bit. So gardening is, and then I want to change this to say my. So let's, oh look, if I just get rid of that A, it comes out, and I can exit out. And what do you think? If I turn this W upside down, it could be an M. Just like that. Okay, and then I can move this over a little bit and move the Y over a little bit. So gardening is my, maybe I want to move these over a little bit more. And I should probably group them. Okay, is my way, is my, and I don't want it to say of, I just wanted to say therapy. So I'm going to highlight of and delete it on my keyboard. And the only last thing I have to do is I want to make therapy stretch a little bit out so it's wider. So I'm going to highlight it. So I grab all of it. I'm going to unlock the lock and just stretch it to what I think looks, good. And I like it just like that. So the last thing I have to do now is I just have to go up here and select everything that's in the black. It's got it all other than the green words, and I'm going to weld it. Okay, I'm going to hide this first one over here. And I'm going to go to, whoopsie daisy, I need to do something else. Let's see, what do I need to do? Probably nothing, because these will both be on separate mats. So let's go to make it. So the green text is going to come on this mat, and then on the second mat it'll have the is my therapy part. So let's cancel this for a second because I forgot to see how big I made this. Now remember, in general I like it to fit under my 9.9 or 9-inch EasyPress. So I like to make the largest number up here 8.75, so I'm sure it will fit under my EasyPress perfectly. And once I type in 8.75 up there, I'll hit enter and it'll change everything to be perfect. And now I'll come up here to save and save as, and I'll save it as gardening is my therapy with green, just so I have a different look or a different file. Save. Okay, now when I go to make this, I'm going to continue, but the thing is, I need both of these to be mirrored because I am going to be using heat transfer vinyl. Anytime you use HTV or iron-on, you must mirror it, unless you're using the printable kind. But regular vinyl, you must mirror. So I'm going to mirror this. There it is. And I'm going to mirror this. Perfect. And now I can go to continue and select my machine, which I need to turn on. And I'm going to click on, let's see, here we go, everyday vinyl, because I will be using flock again, both black and green. So I'm going to say everyday vinyl. It tells me to load my fine point blade, which is great. Let's double check on this and see, is it still edit? Is it still mirrored? Yep, so that one's good. Let's double check on this one for a minute. Click on it, click edit. Yes, it's still mirrored exactly how we wanted it. So I can continue and then I'll bring it back and show you when it's ready to weed. Okay, so I'm weeding the green and I meant to only have the word gardening in green, but I accidentally had the wrong thing clicked. So the whole is my therapy is in green. So now I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do the word gardening in. And I'm going to use an orange t-shirt because that's what I have. And these are just samples that I'm making. So I make what I have. This isn't something I'm going to wear nor something I'm going to sell. It's just samples that I make for these tutorials. So I just use what I have on hand. But look how easy this flock is weeding. And again, if you could feel this, I'm telling you guys, you will love it. It's really nice. I just like it. And I think you would too if you give it a try. I'll have a link for it below. I imagine there's another place you can get it. But of course, if you use my link, I do get a small commission from it. And it does help me to buy the supplies that I need to keep this YouTube group going and the, you know, to support the channel. So I appreciate that. But do you see this? This is like, it weeds like butter. This green is really easy to weed. Okay, now I gotta look back up at my Cricut design space so I can see what it is that I'm supposed to be weeding. So, I guess for the flowers, or the leaves, I'm supposed to weed that part out, and for the flowers that. Okay, come back down here. So for the leaves, it look like this, just the outer part stays in, and the vein. So it's pretty easy. And let's see. For the flowers, it looks like it's pretty much the same. It's the inner part of the flowers that gets weeded out. All right, let's see how that looks. Something is my therapy. So I was thinking I'm going to do it on this orange shirt. Let me drag it over here if I can. Like I said, I'm just using what I have. So here's the orange. You can see it barely at the top of the screen. Orange shirt. And it's going to have this green. Do I dare do purple? Oh, holy moly, that could be scary. Sure, why not? I'll do purple. So I have some purple left from before what I had done yesterday, I think it was. And I'll use this, and this will be for the word gardening. So I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space and go to Make It. And this time I am going to make sure I have the proper one selected. And of course I need to make sure I mirror it or I'll really be upset. Go to Continue. Select my device, which is the Explore Air. And I will be selecting Everyday Vinyl because that's what I have found Everyday Iron-On works for the flock. And I've got to put this on my mat now. And of course, I need to remember when I put this on my mat that it's supposed to be shiny side down. And I have my image mirrored. Okay, I'm going to go say done up here. And it's ready to be put into my machine. And while that's cutting, I'm going to turn on my heat press. I already have it set to 320 and 30 seconds because that's what I'll be using. Now, since these are both the same material that I'm going to be using, I actually can put both of these on at the same time. Let me push you out just a little bit. There you go. And I can put these both on at the same time. If they were different types of iron-ons or HTVs, I may have to do them separately depending on which one needs more time on here. But let me wait. This one's just about done, I'm sure. Let me get it out of my machine and bring it over and weed it. Okay, there's the word gardening. And so now my heat press is still ready. So I'm going to position these things on here. I have my center line marked. I have my pad in here already. And I can kind of tell where the center is. And I usually just eyeball this kind of thing. Okay, so there we go. It's ready to roll. Put this on here. 30 seconds. Looks like everything is covered perfectly. And giving it some good pressure. Okay, do notice that there's this dark line all the way around here because of the heat press or the EasyPress. That will go away. But now remember too that this is a cold press, or cold peel, I should say. So this is really hot right now. I'm not going to peel it. I'm going to take the pad out because it's probably retained, whoopsie, a little bit of the heat. I have a really large one that I'm using today, unlike the one that came in the packet that I used for the sleeve, the toddler sleeve. So I'm going to let this continue to cool. Should be pretty cool now. Yep, it feels very cool. So I should be able to just peel it right off. Perfect. Very nice. Oh, you guys, I love this flock. It's so nice. Let me turn it inside out now, because as we know, Cricut suggests when we use the EasyPress that we do another 15 seconds from the wrong side of the item. So there we go. Start it. And I'll do 15 seconds from this side. Okay. It looks really great. I really think it turned out really nicely. As I said, this mark here will go away as it gets cool. But it's nice and fuzzy, and it's really cute. So I hope you liked today's lesson. If you like my tutorials in general, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it if you can with your friends. Also, be sure to check the links down below if you're interested in joining our Facebook group, or if you'd like to get the bundle that I've mentioned that we're using here. You don't need to have it, but if you're interested in getting it, it's only going to be available for a short time longer, so grab it quick. So, again, thank you very much for joining me. Bye, guys.